Welcome back to the Fantasy Football Formula. This is week 17 of our DraftKings main slate show, where we go game by game, giving you our top 5 favorite plays at each position. And then we'll build a Millie Maker lineup at the end. We're due here. Like on this Millie Maker, like we've built some recent weeks, hasn't been so hot in the Millie Maker. But we're due here, I think.
Definitely.
We're ready.
But
you're either hot or you're due, and we're due.
Exactly. Now, as always, we start at the quarterback position. Last week, just to recap, it's not like just because the Millie Maker lineup failed, like we still had some success on that Corey. I believe you won some on Christmas Eve on the main slate.
No, I won on Showdown.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I did pretty well on the main slate there. Had a lot of Danny Dimes, Cousins, Jefferson, Saquon, Hawkinson was my highest on tight end. So that was a good week for me. But moving on to the quarterback position, who do you guys like at the expensive end?
It's
staying pretty cheap this week, so I'll hand it over to you guys.
Yeah, the MVP of the league, Patty Mahomes. We saw Denver. Do you see what the Rams just did to them? They've given up. That defense has given up on the year. And I think that a lot of people are going to be shying away because they see that number one rank next to Mahomes' name on who he's playing. But look at what Baker just did to this exact same defense a week ago.
Well, Baker's a wagon, so kind of a off base.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Mahomes right at the very top, I think, is probably my favorite play. Definitely on the high end for QBs.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in Mahomes. I wish Jalen Hurts was healthy because this is a good spot against the banged up Saints. But even if he does play, I don't know how much he'll be running. Like they don't want to really hurt him again. Like, and Gardner Minshew played well. And
you just think he won't be as many designed runs?
Yeah, and I think with the way Minshew played, I think that they have confidence that they can at least win one of these games to get the top seed and just give Jalen Hurts the next, 3 weeks off, which would be huge for his health. And obviously you don't want to rush him back. But I think Justin Fields is also in a wonderful spot against the Lions. We usually talk about stacking pieces with, quarterbacks, but Fields is one of those rare pieces where you can just play him and not play any run backs. Because
Cole Kmet may be the only guy you would play with him.
Yeah. So,
but what about Alex's point on the other show? Like they might just shut him down in the designed run part, and that's like what you need out of him. Like, or do you think they're going to go for the record? It's like one or the other. They're like, all right, let's try to get this record, or we don't want you to be injured.
Okay, so this is the thing here. So this is the end of the year. Teams are out of the playoffs. The players on the teams, though, still have incentives put into their contracts that get them huge bonuses. The players know that. Coaches know that. And any good coach, I know you're looking for the future and you don't want to ruin it just for, a record or whatever. But I mean, at the same time, everyone's human and they want to hold the record for most rushing yards by a quarterback in a single season. I mean, not only is that money based, but just to have that that little notch on your belt, especially when there's nothing to play for the season. I think again, with last week's game, it being outside in the freezing cold temperature, that was, you got to be very careful. Like you can get injured very easily doing that. Now this is in a dome. I think honestly they see how the game's going, and if it's going well, I think they let him loose. So I'll be interested in Fields, but not over the top.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Corey. Especially because coming into this year, Justin Fields was a big question mark. We're leaving the season, that question mark has been removed. He's at least bought himself another season, and I think the important time while you have some of these unimportant games, they want to get comfortable with him at the QB position. So they're going to continue to build on the success. I don't think they sit him. I don't know if the record has anything to do with it more so than like building on the momentum that they got this season with Fields. So I think they'd put him out there and say, let's go have a good day and continue to build on the success we found this season with him. So I like that call.
Yeah. I have slight interest in Fields, but I mean his price, I didn't really play him much when he was way cheaper, and now he's $8K. Like Mahomes is just a little bit more. So it's hard for me to play Fields, but it is in a dome, a good environment. So I'll sprinkle him. What about after Fields?
I mean, it drops off
Yeah.
very
For
quickly.
me, it's Rodgers is the next guy.
Yeah.
He's my favorite for sure.
Love Rodgers this week.
Yeah, Minnesota's defense is no bueno, and they've been rolling quite a bit.
I mean, hopefully Christian Watson's back because that's like big. But even without him, I'd still like him. I think his ownership would be lower if Watson's out too. So, and you just stack him with like Lazard and Tanya. And I would put Lazard probably in every lineup if Watson's out. But what?
Dubes too.
Yeah, it would be like Lazard and Dubes. I'd double stack Rodgers there, even with one of the running backs too. You could double stack them as they catch a lot of balls.
Yeah, we know he's a guy who can get there. Like, very easy for him to put up a 303 TD game.
He's yet to put up a 300-yard game this year, and I think against Minnesota at home, he can finally do it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Any interest in the Geno revenge game?
No, I'm not.
Agreed.
No.
Lockett might actually play though, but yeah, I'm not gonna target Geno in a massive slate like this against the Jets.
Damn, I can't believe he's already potentially back.
Yeah, he said he might be back this week.
Just got a warrior in one hand. He's just making one-handed catches every play.
Just dump a bunch of Elmer's glue on the cast and just send him out there. No, I don't like the Geno, but the next couple guys under that, I like Deshaun Watson. We saw last week was a wind bowl in Cleveland. He still threw for 35 yards. I think Kevin Stefanski knows the key to success in the future of the Browns organization lies right now in the hands of Deshaun Watson to Amari Cooper. They have to build that connection. And I think Washington's a perfect team to do it against. They're a pretty suspect secondary. Their run defense is great, so that's going to limit Chubb and Kareem, which is kind of our bread and butter. So that's where I see, kind of a deviation from the typical Browns offense, a lot of pass yards. He's looked progressively better each week, which is all you could ask for. He's not at that elite tier yet, but I think they just keep pushing him and stick to the plan to just get him back on track. So I love Deshaun Watson at 5,800. And then just below that, Jared Goff, the Lions. I love Dan Campbell in a bounce back spot because he knows how to rally the guys together. So they got beat bad last week, but I think they bounced back here. Chicago defense isn't anything special. Home game, playoff hunt. They got a lot of good positions on their side for Jared Goff to succeed. So, and I love the Monroe stack there. So, main guys there: Watson, Rodgers, and Goff this week for me.
Corey, you on Goff?
I don't know.
I love Goff this week. I like him more than Fields. 2,300 cheaper. You know exactly who to stack him with. You put Amon-Ra in every Goff lineup. You could pair him with Amon-Ra. I typically like to double stack Goff because he's not a guy that rushes. So when he reaches the ceiling, unless Amon-Ra is catching 3 touchdowns, which I guess could happen, but likely it's like last week, Shane Zylstra, I think, caught 3 touchdowns. Don't think I'd go back to the well with him, but like someone like DJ Chark maybe, or even Jamison Williams as he's getting back into gear. That if they make the playoffs, they're going to need to ramp him up. So I like.
Sorry, keep going. Sorry, keep going.
I like Goff. I like Goff, and then I guess you don't really have a clear run back. Maybe Cole Kmet would be my favorite run back. Don't really like Montgomery a whole lot, but
That's why I'm kind of thinking that, there's no clear run back with the Bears, like why Justin Fields may, and you could just stack them. You should literally just do Justin Fields and then all the good pieces for Lions. I want to say something. It's absolutely mind bending how Jared Goff is not above 6,000 DK. I mean, for his salary.
Yeah.
355 yards, 3 touchdowns. Like
he's had a very good year.
He's been under 6K this entire year, has he not? Yeah.
He's had a very, very good year.
Yeah, one time over
6K. Another ever since then. That doesn't make sense to me why he's still so cheap. So I mean, I guess you have to be interested in especially what he's been doing. But I mean, I don't know. It's hard to go to Jared Goff and think he's gonna keep performing.
Well, it's also because it's crazy for how big of a slate this is. This is basically like the biggest slate of the season so far. And you have pretty much 85% of games are under a 43.5 point total. You have 3 games above 43.5, being the Bears Lions, which is 52. So that's why you just almost have to be forced into interest in at least Fields or Goff, because it is the highest total, even if you don't agree with it like I do. I think that game goes under, but you have Vikings Packers at 48.5, and then you have Broncos Chiefs at 45. Like there's so many games in like the 40-point range that you just have to have some interest in this game.
Yeah. Well, okay. So what about under that? So you have Minshew at 5,500.
No.
You have Mike White at 5,400.
No, Russ.
No.
Let Russ cook.
No.
You've been muted, PB.
You have a Tourette's type outbreak right there.
You've been muted for those comments.
Russell Wilson, come on.
I won't say he's my favorite quarterback yet because right now it's Rodgers, but he's like right there with Goff as like my second favorite.
I mean, you do have the inaugural you must bet this game, head coach is out, play for the interim head coach type of deal. And
I mean, you could throw that narrative in there, like, okay, he's gone, we rally, whatever. But it's more just like how cheap of a stack you can get. It's like literally the cheapest, maybe besides Judy. I think Judy is because he's been playing well, has come up in price. But like Sutton, he's going to be so low owned, I think. And then if Greg Dulcich is out, you get Albert O maybe at like 2,500. It's such a cheap stack that allows you to get like Kelsey and like a Chiefs guy and just stack all these studs. Like and this is the game. We've seen Russ have 2 tournament winning type performances this year, and one of them was against the Chiefs. He had, what did he have? I can't see it.
They lost that game, but yeah, he
had 20. He had one good quarter.
He had 26 fantasy points. And then he had 27 against the Raiders earlier this year. But in a game that they're in Kansas City, they're going to be playing from behind again. Not going to be able to run it.
You're going to get benched again, dude. You're going to get a quarter out of him. He's going to throw 3 interceptions, and Brad Ripien's coming back. No
confidence.
How many times are you going to touch the hot stove?
Listen, I haven't played him. The last time I played him was against the Chiefs, and I didn't play him against the Rams. Like, listen, I'm going back to Russ here.
Okay. Well, what about? Well, there's a couple more here, then we can move on really quick. Any interest in Stidham besides cash?
No.
Oh yeah. How expensive is he?
He's 4,100.
Oh, he's 4,100.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I completely because I was looking at this before that news came out.
Yeah, he's 4,100
against the 49ers defense.
Yeah, I know it's against the 49ers
for the first.
Okay, I mean Stidham at if he was 5K, I'd probably just be like 4,100. It's pretty much he's the cash game lock.
Yeah,
so you're playing him in cash games and tournaments. He's still gonna be up there. Oh my gosh, he's gonna still be projected for like 14, 15 points, like at the quarterback position.
And he could.
And it's like the 49ers, like they're best against the run. Like you could still see Adams, have a pretty solid game here. He's got Renfro, Waller. Yeah,
he has the pieces. And then the last one we'll talk about, and then we'll move on here. Any interest in Carson Wentz?
How?
No.
Yeah.
He's 5,100 against Cleveland.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Okay.
No, I just played Stidham for 900 cheaper.
All right, moving on.
Wow. Damn, I'm actually kind of mad. I didn't really want to play Stidham, but that's too cheap.
Yeah, it's just a too cheap thing. I know it's against the 49ers, but if he's going to get you 14 points, it allows you to play so many other pieces.
Yeah.
All right. Running backs. Are we lock and load in Christian McCaffrey again?
Yeah, I mean he's got to be the favorite.
9K
every week. And it's the same story every week.
I mean, he failed last week, but
He did.
Yeah.
He did, but you're gonna hit more often than not, probably if you're playing him every week.
I mean, he's got to score 30 plus points here.
Yeah, and it's like if you play Stidham, it's just like the easiest guy to throw in that lineup.
No, yeah, it definitely is. That's why he's going to be so
for
highly
sure.
owned this week. So maybe you come off of him because he's going to be so high owned, especially with all those Stidham lineups coming in. Because he's the
I mean, if Stidham ends up being like 30% in tournaments, it's a pretty easy fade, like a really easy fade. But like, again, Stidham's a cash game lock. McCaffrey's probably a cash game lock. But I'd still rather play McCaffrey in tournaments. I'd still eat ownership if McCaffrey's like 20 to 30% than eat Stidham chalk.
Yeah.
What?
Also, hang on. There's a couple games that we didn't mention. Starters will be playing, but they could be pulled early. So keep that in mind. Like Jacksonville, I could see the starters playing a half, maybe 3/4, and then
they said they're playing. Like,
well, there you go.
Yeah.
Tennessee doesn't matter because they're not on the slate, but anyone that's really solidified, they're like the Chargers, like they can't. I mean, I guess they can move up.
No, they can be anywhere from the 5 to the 8, I think.
Okay. But
I'm pretty sure most every team on the slate is something to play for besides the Jags, but they're being kind of stupid and playing.
It's not stupid. But anyways, what other running backs? Barkley?
Yeah, I like Saquon.
I like Saquon.
He's been getting a ton of targets lately. 10 targets, 8 targets last 2 games. They've definitely been incorporating him a lot more. I think mid-season they kind of were trying to save his legs a little bit for this late run and this postseason push, and they know they got to win now. So I think he's going to get fed quite a bit as he has in the last 2 weeks.
They're so decimated at wide receiver that they really have no other option. Like it's Saquon or die. He was their number 4 pick. It's like go out and use him. Like they're making their playoff push, so that's all they're going to get. Although one of these random guys blew up last week, and I did have him in, I think, was it the Christmas showdown or maybe the Saturday slate?
Hodgins.
He was like 3,500 or something.
Wasn't he a Browns player?
Slayton, Richie James, and Hodgins. Hodgins was like the leverage.
That was on Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that lineup busted because I put Russell Wilson.
Okay, so you played Russ, so don't get on me for
11 points. It ruined me. I had Higby, I had that guy. Didn't have Cam Akers. But.
All right, so we talking about what about moving down?
Dalvin, I like a lot because like I said, I like Rodgers. Like Dalvin's my favorite run back in that game.
I'm pretty sure he's also really close to breaking the Vikings single season or close to. He's close to breaking something with the Vikings. I'm pretty sure.
Well, he's just too cheap. He's 7K, and and that's how you attack the Packers. Like I know Jefferson went crazy. For as much as I like the Packers Vikings game, I actually don't really like Jefferson a whole lot.
I like Dalvin better. I think similar upside with Alexander, like you're saying.
Jefferson's upside is like unparalleled, but
his floor is 25 points.
Yeah, but yeah, Dalvin's in a great spot.
Yep.
Yeah, 6,400.
He's in a great spot, but
ETN's love him.
it's risky though, like you were saying.
He
Corey.
hasn't done that good.
He's done great. I don't know what you're talking about.
No,
he's
14, 16, 3.
he hasn't broken 20 points since week 9. And I'm looking for guys
Yeah.
that put up 20 points in my Millie Maker.
Yes, he hasn't had some of the touchdown regression, but sometimes that's just Lawrence has thrown him like that will regress, and ETN is due for some games. He's getting like over 100 scrimmage yards in most games.
I know he had 25 touches last week, but he only put up 14. So I don't love the production.
Score.
There's 3 guys I see that I would rather play than ETN that are cheaper than ETN.
Really?
Yep.
I absolutely love ETN this week against Texans. Whew.
I know.
It's a great spot. But again, like Corey was saying, like if they're up big, they may get pulled at half. Like,
yeah, but how did they get up big?
I mean, you got hit, but it's like
Trevor Lawrence stand number 1 over here.
Yeah, but Texans have a good pass defense. Like I just think
that's how I really like Miles Sanders this week. Like Corey was saying, even if Hurts plays, I think that they significantly decrease the amount of times that he's running the ball, especially on the goal line, which opens up a lot more opportunities for Sanders. If it's Minshew, obviously didn't do much against Dallas, so not quite as favorable here, but probably a better matchup against the banged up Saints defense. Right below him, AJ Dillon. I think that Aaron Jones has actually been playing through something that like is more significant than whatever they're saying, because the amount of goal line work that is being taken off his plate and even some passing work that we didn't see AJ Dillon in the past he's getting these past couple of weeks. It's also another game that we talked about is second highest total on the board. One that I like the over in. So I think there's a decent amount of opportunities there for Dillon. And then lastly, Isaiah Pacheco, in a game, obviously tough, a little bit of a tough matchup against Denver defense. But like I was saying, those guys got eviscerated by Baker Mayfield and Cam Akers last week. So pretty sure they've packed it in for the year. I know they've got the interim head coach bump this week, but it's a guy who was already there he was the like play clock manager through the entire year. So it's just like,
yeah, I like Pacheco.
Yeah.
I agree. I like, I like that game. So I think you're thinking the Chiefs are playing from ahead, and I think you could do like a Russ and then run it back with Pacheco.
What happened to CEH?
He got hurt.
Was he done? You got like
I think he'll come back for the playoffs possibly.
Really?
We'll have Melvin Gordon, so probably not.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. What about Lenny?
Lenny playing through a Liz Frank and getting like
163. He had 20 carries and 10 targets.
Insane. And he's like, yeah, I'm playing through a Liz Frank injury. Which is just like ends other guys' seasons.
Which is something I guess, could get aggravated and he leaves and then White just gets more work. Like after he just had 30 touches, like White could I like both White and Fournette, but
it's so hard to choose which one.
I know that's what I hate. But
I'd rather just I'd rather just go elsewhere, I think, and try to guess it. Like unless you have to like decide, like if you're playing a showdown slate and you have to decide on which ones you're gonna play, I think it's just easier to stay away from. I mean,
if Jamal's out, I like Swift at 5-3 against Chicago. He'd be like a cash game, probably staple. It'd be really high owned, but if Jamal's out.
What about Patterson? Cordell Patterson against
Arizona? No, Tyler Algier is
the alligator.
Yeah. The alligator.
Tyler Algier. Man. Yeah, I think he's averaged 20 points the past 2 weeks. I mean, this guy was a rookie, came in. Cordell's getting old, so the end of the year is pretty tough for him. I think the Falcons know moving forward, they're going to test this guy out to see if he's a true long-term answer, and or they need to figure out another option this offseason. So they're putting him to the test. He's coming through. His production level's good. Fantasy-wise, putting up 20, 25 points 2 weeks ago, 15 last week. So Yeah, he's one of my sneaky lower end plays. The second guy I'll mention is Cam Akers. Not a popular name this year at all. People are going to hate him. More of a leverage play, but we saw him put up 37 points last week. Do I think he gets there again? Probably not. But 20 points, I don't think is out of the question. We know Baker Mayfield's not doing much through the air, so
Yeah,
they're going to lean on Akers a little bit.
No chance I go to Akers.
All right, 2 more names here, and then let's see. Let's move it on. What about between Bam Knight and Carter?
I mean,
51,
I just think
5100.
just avoid them both.
Avoid them both. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Zach Moss, I guess, like it seems like he's the guy in Indy. Like if they're just going to give him 20 touches, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to play some from Indy, be my guest.
I mean, I don't say it's not like I'm a huge, but I mean, okay, I guess he only got 12, but they were losing like that whole game. I don't know. Yeah, it's probably just the best to avoid that. I just saw him down there. Brian Robinson against Cleveland. Like we know how bad the Cleveland run defense is, but he's banged. Like I hate how many committee backfields there are this year. So it's like if one gets injured, the other becomes a really good play. But it sounds like Brian Robinson's slightly banged up. So if he's hurt or if Gibson's hurt, play the other. But
yeah, it's a tough one this week.
Yeah, but I definitely like my favorites: ETN, Dalvin, CMC. Those are probably my Fournette and one of Fournette or White. Those are like my top plays, I'd say.
Okay. All right. Moving on to receiver. Who we got?
I don't love any of the top guys. I mean, Jefferson's going to have Jari Alexander on him. I think that limits his upside. And then you got Tyreek and Devontae, both with backup quarterbacks. So I don't really see their ceiling hitting. Debatably A.J. Brown, too. So we already
A.J.
talked
Brown
about.
played well.
Yeah, he did.
for
Minshew didn't
103.
look too bad at all. But
Especially if that secondary of the Saints is still rolling out JV players, I'll take my chances with A.J. Brown at home against a decimated Saints team, which I've said is.
I guess I'm just staying away from Tyreek and Devontae is my point up top. But Jefferson's never a bad call. Debatable MVP this year.
He's actually at the expensive end. I actually think Tyreek is going to go overlooked. I think people will just play Jefferson over him. And I mean, I'm pretty sure Tyreek had a ceiling game with Bridgewater maybe earlier this year.
What game was that?
I forget which game. Well, the point is Tyreek is like a guy that's like, as long as you don't have, I'm trying to think of just a complete, like maybe Nick Foles as your quarterback, then I think he can have a ceiling. Like Teddy Bridgewater has supported, some receivers hitting their ceiling, and Tyreek is such a yards after the catch guy. And if people are just going to be fading him, and you're going to get a guy like just complete slate breaker at low ownership, he's like, I'll prioritize him over Justin Jefferson this week. Who else is expensive? I think those are like the two main guys that are expensive. I guess Adams is up there, but now with Stidham, I guess he'll come in lower owned. I don't mind a little bit of Adams too, but I like Adams and Tyreek more than Jefferson. That's like a contrarian take this week.
Yeah. So then the favorite high owned above is what? St. Brown at 7,800.
Yeah, he'll be like, I like St. Brown a lot.
Yep. I mean, then you could go down the Waddle at 7,500, who had a great game. I mean, if people want to chase that, I mean, you can. He got all of his yards from that one catch, essentially. I mean, he finished 143 and a touchdown. But Alex, who are you looking at?
I was just going through. There's not a ton of guys that are like really jumping off the page at me. Obviously, I mean, we talked about A.J. Brown, a guy, Devonta Smith, had a clear connection with Gardner Minshew. I mean, 12 targets, a couple of great catches from him.
Yep.
But again, you're chasing someone who's now been priced up $600 from the week before because of a really awesome performance. So Hopkins has got Trace McSorley. No, thank you. Keenan Allen, I think, is a guy obviously who's got a really high floor. I don't think his ceiling is insanely high this year. He's obviously splitting a ton of time and targets with Big Mike.
Yeah.
So that's
I don't
a
like
little
Keenan
tough,
this
but
week, though.
I don't either.
No,
I
that's what I
think
was saying,
Troy
like-
Hill and Jalen Ramsey are two really good inside coverage corners. So
Well,
I
you
like
play
Mike
Big
Williams
Mike.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
Big Mike.
Yeah, he's also cheaper, so more there for sure. DK is gonna get a ton of sauce.
Yeah, and the thing about Keenan Allen is like he's gonna go way more over-owned than because Keenan Allen has since he's come back and been a solid floor guy. He's getting all these targets. People are gonna see that they're like, oh, Mike Williams 6'7". I'll just pay 300 more for Allen. And I think Mike Williams is a much better play this week.
Yeah. I do like going down just a little bit from him. Mike Evans, I think, is
Love
due.
him this week.
Yeah, I think he's due for a big one finally.
saying that.
I know.
My God.
But no JC Horn in Carolina's
Dude,
defense
Mike
anymore to
Evans
match up with
might
him.
be my
So,
favorite receiver play this week.
yeah, I mean,
He
he's
hasn't
so
done
cheap.
shit all
He hasn't.
year.
No, he hasn't.
He hasn't done
So
a
frustrating.
whole lot, and we know he's like one of those guys. Like even the past few years with Brady, like he's been a touchdown guy. Like that's how we've seen him have like 3 catches for 30 yards, and he has like 2 or 3 touchdowns on those 3 catches.
Been dropping those passes, and Brady's been overthrowing those passes all year. But I mean, it's just they're
too many
talent. Yeah, they're too talented of a quarterback wide receiver duo for him not to go off one week. And against, if they win this, does that secure the division for them?
Yes, I believe. Yeah.
So I think if it's going to be any week, it's going to be this week that him and Brady actually finally do something. But yeah, there's been a handful of drops from him that were like, I mean, because I had him in fantasy this year, so I was looking a little more closely, like tons of at least 3 or 4, like 60 to 70 yard catches that were dropped or underthrown, overthrown, etc.
Yeah.
So yeah, like him there, pretty cheap this week.
I mean, I like Godwin a lot too. Like
Yeah.
I like getting one of those guys. Probably
he's had the better floor for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
Like,
I
not
think
even close.
yeah, I really do.
What do you
like
guys
him.
think about Jerry Jeudy? He's had a great December. No
Yeah, I like Russ.
head
I like
coach, no Hackett in the way anymore. Like, what do you think? I don't know what to think here.
I like Russ, so I like Judy and Sutton.
You do? I got him in
I'm playing Russ. I'm playing a ton of Russ.
I think I might have to play him in my championship game for one of my fantasy leagues. So I'm a little nervous about him.
Yeah, I would be too.
It's quite risky.
Like, it's kind of a do or die moment, and I'm like, do I trust Russell Wilson?
What's
to win me
your
money?
other option there?
I mean, I got Dube. It's the league we're all in together. I got Dubes, Pacheco on the bench.
But at quarterback.
You're playing Judy.
Oh, you're saying Judy, not
Oh,
Russ.
Jerry Judy. Yeah, I'm not playing Russ.
I
I'm
got
playing.
you.
I got Goff or Kirk Cousins. I'm playing Goff.
Got you.
Yeah, Russ killed me this year in fantasy, that's for sure.
So yeah, this 6K range is like a gold mine. Like for me, like I love everyone in that 6. Godwin, Mike Williams, Mike Evans, Jerry Judy. Like this is my favorite like grouping of players this week.
Then under 6. I mean, you got
Sutton.
Watson, 59.
Oh yeah, Watson and
plays.
Lazard.
Yeah.
Watson especially.
Amari Cooper,
I like Amari.
Yeah.
DJ Moore.
I don't like DJ Moore that much going up against.
Yeah, Tampa's secondary is getting healthy again.
Yeah,
I like Amari Cooper this
I
week.
like.
You got to figure that out.
I mean, that's how you attack Washington. So
But a Lazard is like probably my favorite 5K guy.
even if Watson plays, he gets so risky if Watson plays. Like he could literally get
if Watson
2 targets.
plays, then Sutton's probably my favorite 5K guy. If Watson sits, Lazard's first, and Sutton's I like Sutton
Right
a lot
there.
this week.
Anyone biting at a 4,800 Brandon Cooks?
Just looking at him.
I mean, Jacksonville's not a terrible matchup for that either.
No, it's
I don't
not.
mind him, but he's not like a core play of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll be
Yeah,
like
I like Dupes 200 less, probably more.
I like Dubes as well. He'll
Yeah.
be.
700.
I just like Lazard and Watson if he plays more. If Watson sits though, it makes me have substantial more interest in Dubes.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think. There's not like once you get under 4K, like my favorite low owned dumpster dive play of the week is Elijah Moore. He's in.
Yeah, I guess you getting Mike White back. He
Yes.
definitely is getting more looks with Mike White in there.
He's my favorite guy. Like, you
Yep.
need savings. He's such a good play this week. Like, and Seattle, it's the out. Like Garrett Wilson will get what's that rookie corner?
Oh, Bryant.
No, rookie corner on Seattle.
Yeah, isn't it
Oh,
Bryant?
Woolen.
Oh, no.
Woolen.
Woolen?
Yeah, he's on the
I
outside.
forget his name, but he
Reed
shuts
Woolen.
down the outside guy, and you attack Seattle in the slot. So I think Mike White. Like, I think he could get like 10 targets this game.
Wilson?
Yeah.
No, Elijah Moore.
Elijah Moore. Oh. You're
I think
saying
Garrett Wilson.
Fade Wilson.
Yeah,
Got it.
Yep.
love Elijah Moore this week.
All right.
Who was I just looking at? Hang on. Before we move on. Oh. I guess I don't know. Not this week, probably against Cleveland, but Jahan Dotson just has a nose for the end zone. I don't love it this much as the past couple of weeks with Wentz coming in against Cleveland too. But
He's been
rookie
playing
to
well.
keep an
He's
eye on.
had 3 really good games. I think he sat out maybe week 14, but
Yeah,
all over 15 points the last 3 games he's played. For 4,600, that's pretty good.
Yep.
Yep. But anyone else have cheap guys?
No, don't chase Renfro.
Actually, if Carr was playing, because I just don't know where Stidham.
Well, yeah, if Carr was playing,
I would have liked Renfro, like, because you attack San Fran in the slot, like that's like where they're weak. But
Maybe Kadarius Toney.
way too thin.
They can't.
Maybe a sprinkle.
He scored last week, but that's all he did.
Yeah, he scored and still didn't even.
Well, he's getting worked back in. I mean, long term,
I think they're
he's
just
gonna
ramping
be
him up for the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to really be utilized a ton till then.
Yep, I agree with that.
All right, tight end.
I mean, you got to talk about Kelsey. I mean, Higbee just ran all over this Denver's defense. 8,100. I mean, you can play if you're playing Kelsey. I recommend playing him as the flex and just play 2 tight end sets because
Why?
Kelsey's essentially a wide receiver.
You don't have to recommend. I mean,
you don't have to, but it's a way to get different. Playing 2 tight ends is always a good way. If you like another tight end a lot, playing Kelsey in the flex is a good way to get.
I actually
different.
hate tight end. Like I'm finding it so hard to decide Kelsey and Kittle.
I love George Kittle this week.
Those are like the only 2 tight ends like I
Love
actually
it.
like.
Yeah, I like Kittle a lot, and I also like Noah Fant.
Yeah.
Without
Without
Noah Fant.
wait.
I
wait,
think
wait, wait. Whoa. Nicholas.
I know. You could say it. It's fine. Sometimes can't beat them, join them. We're gonna go with that methodology here.
All right, fair enough.
But I think for 3,400, if Lockett is still out and DK gets Sauce Gardner on him, I just think that opens up Noah Fant for some potential increased volume in this game that they have to win. So,
I mean, and we just saw what Evan Ingram did to this Jets defense. Like they didn't do well against tight end.
Yeah, I mean that is how you attack them, but I guess it's not the worst play there. What about
if you got to get cheap at tight end, I think that's the best one.
I like, I mean, like I said, if Dolchich is in, I like Dolchich. If he's out, I like Alberto. But Conklin, I mean, it seems like Mike White likes to target him.
Yeah, I mean, if Conklin's playing full go, or if Mike White's inside full go, like I like Conklin too. Like we saw Conklin on 2 million maker winning teams this year. He has potential to get there. Mike White lights him, and their run offense right now is not good. I mean, with Bam and Michael Carter is just I don't know who to play there. And tight ends are the kings of short routes, and I mean it's essentially an extension of the running game. So I like Conklin.
I will say this is a slate that when I'm just looking at screams fade every bad tight because I think there's it's just especially how massive the slate is and how bad the tight end plays are. It just screams Kelsey or Kittle being optimal, like just paying up for one of the studs. And all these other guys are going to get like 10 points or less, 15 points, and Kelsey or Kittle is going to go for a 30-plus bomb. Kelsey hasn't scored in like 4 weeks. Like,
yeah.
What
about Evan Ingram?
I mean, Evan Ingram is like my favorite guy in the 4K range. I mean, he's getting targets, but
yeah,
I mean, to me, it's like this is a big I think I just really want to pay up for Kelsey or Kittle. Kelsey is probably my favorite tight end, though.
I will say one Colts player, Jelani Woods, at 2,800. I guess
is Granson going to be back?
I'm not sure yet.
If he's not back, I mean, I like him a little bit, but if he's back, I don't have any interest.
Yeah, we'll see.
Like Granson, Kelsey, and like Kelsey at 8-1 because he hasn't done a lot. Like you have a possibility of getting him at in slates past, this guy would always be like 20 to 30% owned. Like most slates, like you'd always see him coming in at that. We might be able to get Kelsey at like 10%, maybe less ownership, and he can just lap the field at the tight end position.
Yeah, no, he's definitely the best tight end.
Yeah, and I mean Higbee absolutely torched them last week.
Yeah.
So
all right,
let's get into this. God, okay. Well, PB, we're not playing Russell Wilson, so don't even say his name.
Gosh. Then, well, I still like some of the other guys. If not Russ, Goff or Rodgers for me.
I like Rodgers or Goff too.
I like Goff.
Alex?
Rodgers or Mahomes?
So it sounds like we have 3 on Rodgers. So it sounds
Rodgers
like Rodgers
is fine too. I'm playing him a lot.
Yeah, he was the.
It's a must-win spot. He's the kind of guy that's not going to lose this game.
Agreed.
So probably want to double stack him. I mean, are we basing this off the premise Watson's in?
What's the latest? He didn't practice today. I saw that. He's considered day to day.
He'll probably play, but the hip though is like that.
I don't know if he's going to get open and stuff. Like I kind of like Dubes and like almost like a Dubes and Dylan,
like Lazard. I mean, if Watson's out, Lazard's going to be the guy.
Is he?
Yeah, I think Dubes might be the guy if Watson is out.
I mean, we can play both.
I think we play both. I think we play Lazard and Dubes.
All right. And then, did we want to run back Dalvin then, or who?
Yeah, Dalvin's my favorite run back.
Everyone good with that?
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. How could you not like Dalvin Cook?
Yeah. Green Bay's run D is.
So, are we gonna do the tight end position now? Like, what are we trying to do? Are we gonna
Kittle
dumpster dive, or are we gonna go to Kittle or Kelsey?
I want Kittle.
I go Kelsey.
He's been crushing it with Brock Purdy.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, but then when he doesn't crush it, he
does nothing. It's a matter of like that. That's a good point too, because this game could get out of hand very quickly with Jared Stidham at quarterback. Like there's a chance Vegas doesn't put up
they
points.
like all he has to do is block and like they just
Yeah.
Don't really need him to do much.
I mean, we have a pretty cheap.
he's going to definitely
main
have to
stack.
block more.
We have a pretty cheap main stack.
I vote Kelsey.
If we can make it work with Kelsey, then
Let's
I
try.
would be able to make it work.
Let's give it a shot. Let's throw a defense in.
49ers.
Look at all this
my
green up
favorite-
top. Look at all this green. Oh my goodness.
I
man.
actually
So
like the
let's start at the
49ers defense.
let's start at the bottom.
Where are the Niners defense?
Work our way
They're
up.
at
They're like 2,900.
Okay,
Oh.
Saints, Broncos,
They're
Pack.
29.
No, let's see, Rams.
49ers are going to be very highly owned.
yeah.
But yeah, I do. That's very cheap for Jared Stidham and the 49ers.
Yeah, we
defense.
can't play the 49ers in this lineup. They're gonna be that high owned.
Well, Falcons against Arizona.
No. They just don't like.
With Trace McSorley.
I don't hate the Jets.
I kind of like the Bucks.
Don't hate the Bucks.
Yeah.
Is Sam Darnold. He
Yeah.
does see ghosts.
Yeah.
And he hasn't
And they're
seen one
gonna-
in a little while.
they're- Yeah, they're not going to be able to run like they did against the Lions.
No.
Yeah, I like the
Take
Bucks.
the Bucks.
There.
All right. 5,200 to deal with. Probably
It's
should
not too bad.
Elijah Moore is always
yeah.
there for an option to save money, but
It's 3,500.
Nice.
What about
Alright.
the alligator?
let's see who else. Like starting at what were some of our favorite running backs?
I mean, up top was McCaffrey. We liked.
Oh
everyone
yeah, I
Luke.
liked. We could pair Fournette or White with the Bucks. I like Travis Etienne.
James Conner gets a ton of volume.
Tons.
Yeah, Connor does, but he's 7-2.
I like this middle of the road guys here.
Yeah.
Not Foreman, but these other three. But we already
What
have
about
three.
Kenneth? I mean,
Packers.
Kenneth. Pacheco. Pacheco is gonna have a big game, I think.
He's so hard to play. You just
I know.
the McKinnon factor.
You just play Fournette and just get like 8 guaranteed targets.
How much
He's
is
5
67?
And you get the defense correlation at least with Fournette.
We could get
Yeah.
Mike
Mike
Williams.
Williams and Mike Evans. Oh man, yeah, I think we gotta be. in
I'd
this
go
race.
Mike Will.
I like Mike. I mean, I think Mike. Oh yeah, we can't play Evans, Fournette, and Bucks.
No.
So Mike Williams fits this a bit better. But
I don't mind it.
Rogers.
That's a squad.
Fournette, Lazard, Dubes.
That's a good squad.
All right.
yeah, I like
That
it.
was one of our quicker ones too, which
We're due.
it's either a really good sign or a really bad sign. How quickly we all agreed on that one.
Yeah, I think we're due. So I think I think Kelsey.
Yeah. I mean,
Man, he's such a good player. He's gonna be low owned, and it's just a terrible tight end slate.
yeah. We saw what Higbee did. Kelsey, very, very much better than Higbee.
And we didn't not and we if we look like all right, who were the receivers in that 8K range? It was Hopkins, Tyreek, Adams, Jefferson. It was all guys that we
Yeah.
really weren't like fully into. So it's like, oh, you got to play
You
Kelsey.
get him there.
It all lines up for a great week.
I can feel it.
All right.
I can feel it in my
Nice.
plums.
I need a big payday.
Yeah. We need some monies to go into the playoffs and then some Super Bowl showdown. Go back to back, Millie Maker.
Do it, PB.
Back to back. But that'll do it for this episode. We'll be back next week for the final week of the regular season. It's flown by. Yeah, it's crazy.
Sad.
But luckily we'll keep doing shows for the
Yes.
season. All the year round show.